Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I'm bringing you my friend and my guest, Nhi Nhi. So she is a meditation practitioner and also a person who will hold space for you and guide you through your tough times. I first known about Nhi Nhi through the app Insight Timer. You know the meditation app that I talked about so much? Yeah, that app. So one day I was just browsing for new meditation guidance and her profile popped up. And I was like, okay, let me give it a try. And I loved it. So I thought to myself, oh yeah, that was great. And 2 weeks later, I found out that my friend Beck is actually a good friend of hers. So Beck is the creator behind Conscious Combos. I actually interview her as well. You should check out her interview. Anyways, when I found out that they're really good friends, I was like, I must get in touch. And then our friendship just grew from there, and I am so thankful that the universe has brought us together. Now, no matter what age you're at in your life, I know that you're going to enjoy this episode. Nhi Nhi has shared herself and her stories. She shared her suicidal trauma experience, her bullying experience, and obviously her story and how she got to where she is today as a meditation practitioner. So my loves, if you're someone who is facing depression or maybe bullying or maybe loneliness or unworthiness, please continue watching. Or maybe you're a parent who is wondering how you can be there for your child. Or maybe you're a friend or colleague. You know what? Doesn't matter who you are. Just continue watching because you never know who in your life would need your light. Maybe this interview will bring you whatever you might need. Now, because Nhi Nhi and I had such a great chat, she even shared about how you can move to Bali if you ever want to live there. And she also shared a few tips on how you can be more intuitive. So this episode is going to be in 2 parts. I would highly encourage you to watch both of them because Nhi Nhi is going to provide a nice meditation practice at the end and you are going to love it. So enjoy!
Before we talk about your journey, Nhi Nhi, I would love to ask, how are you feeling today?
I am feeling super grateful, super blissed out, and just feelings of just inner calmness, inner peace. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, so tranquil.
Yeah, that's
Can you
me.
please give everyone that? Can you please give everyone a more peaceful?
Those are my meditations, and you will experience it.
Those people who are listening and watching, if you don't know about Insight Timer, I highly recommend you to download it. And Nhi Nhi is also on it. I will put all the details in the description. Now, can you please take everyone back to before you became a meditation practitioner? What were you doing before?
So before I became a meditation guide practitioner, I was working in a hospital setting. So I studied medical imaging and radiography for 4 years, and I worked for 4 years. But it wasn't something that I was passionate about. I've always wanted to, hold space and I wouldn't say treat people, but just to be in people's presence and be able to heal them through a very holistic way rather than the traditional, modern way of being in a hospital. So that was what brought me to meditation, because working in a hospital, you can imagine, it's very, very stressful. It's always, fight or flight. You're being with so many people, so many different energies every day. And meditation was the one practice that helped me through that entire experience. Yeah, I remember feeling, a lot of anxiety and stress during this part of my life, and I discovered meditation, and I did it, every now and then. It wasn't a ritual for me. So when I started to do it more and more, it became a habit, and it just led me on this journey of now teaching and guiding meditations.
Yeah. Why did you choose the medical field, by the way?
I was young and coming from an Asian family, I just, parents wanted the best for us, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do in life. I was, at that age, all I really knew was I wanted to go out and party, spend time with friends, and just have something, have a degree there that allows me to earn money and travel and do the things that I wanted to do. But there was no real intention and motivation behind it, other than it was a degree and that I can help people. But
Mm,
helping people has always been a major factor in my life.
mm,
Yeah, I just love helping people. But then somewhere along the journey, I realized that I didn't want to help people in that way, in that setting.
yeah.
There are other people more in alignment with that, profession than I am. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just took a chance and just left, and yeah, just weaved my own path.
Nice. I'm happy for you. But how did you stumble upon meditation?
I stumbled across meditation when I first started going to yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I started going to yoga, at the end, would do like a little small meditation in Shavasana, and I was like, whoa, like I always feel so good during this practice. And then I went to, festivals, and I attended the meditation kind of workshops they had, and yeah, everything came from a self practice for me. It was all
Hmm.
self practice, and Insight Timer, the app, was actually the biggest instigator for my meditation journey, because I, was so attached with our phones. But Insight Timer was the app that I always went to when I needed support, I needed help. Yeah, and now I get to, yeah, be a teacher
Help
on there, which
people.
is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
help people because it's helped me so much. Yeah.
It is such an amazing app. And even on the free, if you don't even have to pay to do the membership thing, you can already get amazing things.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I love about it. It's a very supportive app, and there are so many teachers on there, and honestly you can just find anything, music, binaural beats. Yeah, you can even
Yeah.
find like lectures on there and podcasts, I believe. Yeah,
Yes. And
it's
there's like
really amazing.
sound healing as well,
Another
guidance.
community, the community is amazing on there. Yeah.
Love it. And for those people who don't know you personally, they wouldn't know where you are right now. Where are you? Tell people.
So right now I am in Bali, Indonesia. I feel so blessed to be here. um yeah, I booked a one-way ticket a year ago. Actually, it's been a year now, soon. And yeah, I've just been here since. It's just been loved and nurtured by Mama Bali. It's just incredible, and I feel like I'm really here for a reason. I didn't
Mm,
really come here for a holiday.
mm,
I came here and I decided to let go of my identity. I remember catching the plane here, and when I landed, I said, I'm becoming a nobody. I'm literally becoming a nobody. So when I started meeting people, they're like, what do you do? All these things. I'm like, I just live and I breathe and I just love. That's what I do. And then they're like, what? Okay. They're like, don't you like do something? I was like, yeah, I have hobbies. I love cooking. I love meditating. There's many things that I can do, but I don't want to be confined to one thing, that
yeah.
allowed so many opportunities to come my way. So many doors were opening because I was not bound to a specific identity that I've created myself. Yeah,
Yeah.
I allowed the
That,
universe to create that for me through flow of energy.
yes. That was beautiful because I feel like, especially now, a lot of people confine themselves into a box, and
Yeah,
people might feel a little lost given the pandemic. Um,
yeah.
how did you yourself learn to let go?
Through a lot of pain and heartache and traumatizing experiences, I'd say. Mm,
Would you like to
because
share?
growing up, like I had a very, very beautiful, childhood. I have a very loving family, beautiful family. But when it hit my teenage years, that was like the most difficult part of my life. I experienced bullying
Mm,
and I tried to commit suicide, actually. But the spirits didn't allow me to leave this planet. And then I overcame that experience. And then I guess there were still so many parts of me that needed to heal. But when we're young, we're not really taught about what our emotions are, or how to meditate, like these fundamental things that could really, really help ourselves and our lives. So then, like, that experience translated into so many of my relationships, especially with intimate partners. And the same thing, I kept finding myself repeating. And at the end of it all, I realized it all came back to self-love. I had to love myself more and not the other person, because no one else can give me that love. But the attachment thing and learning to let go is, it came from the fact that I realized, like, in order to really live like a peaceful life, you really just have to let go of all the attachments, because
mm,
those attachments are the ones that are bounding you to these, certain experiences, these certain emotions. Mm. So it's like being able to, I find, recognize what you're holding on to that is not serving you.
yes.
And all of that came through my experiences that I had to go through. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you
Yeah.
have done a lot of self work and digging deep. And thank you so much for being so brave for sharing about how you had that thought
Yeah.
about committing suicide. And I feel like that is something a lot of teenage kids are actually going through. Do you mind to dig deeper and share broader information with people? Like what happened?
The thing is, like, I never even really know why. I never really found out why I was getting bullied till this day. I just remember that my friends were starting to treat me very differently, and maybe it was a certain behavior that I was um, doing that made them do that way, like treat me that way. But at that time, I didn't understand it.
Yes.
And I guess till this day, I never really got closure about it. But like for me, I don't really care about closure. But yeah, I just remembered my friends just started treating me very differently.
Mm,
They didn't want to hang out with me anymore, and I could just feel it. I was like, okay. And then I guess things just kind of started unfolding, and I remember like feeling so lonely, like so
mm,
lonely.
mm,
And it wasn't like these people were like, pushing me and like hitting me and things like that. It wasn't that. It was just like the feeling of being excluded, the
mm.
feeling of not belonging to to friends. And connection is one of the most fundamental things that us human beings need in order to survive. It's connection, whether that's connection with yourself, with friends, with family, with nature. It's connection. So when my friends that I've known, most of my life started treating me that way, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I started going to class by myself. And it got to a point where it was really bad.
Mm.
Like, I didn't even want to be out in like the school field. I was like locking myself up in the toilet because I didn't want to be seen alone. And that was the thing. I didn't want to be seen a particular way. And it led to me self-harming myself because I didn't know how to feel anymore. And that's one thing that I feel is so important to understand. It's like everything always comes down to a feeling. But if you're feeling so disconnected, you no longer know how it feels, how it feels to be loved, how it feels to be peaceful, how it feels to be secure. Like, all these feelings just became nothing. Because you start recognizing that, you're insignificant, you're not loved because people don't want to be with you. So that's what my mind was creating at a young age. Because, like I said, we were never taught about any of these things, and that's why I'm so passionate about mindfulness and meditation. But then it led to that, and I remember, in order to feel, I was hurting myself.
Yes.
And I still have the scars on my arms now. It's a reminder every day that I've been through so much, and I can go through anything. I've hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I remember one day just coming home every day and just taking naps because I was so tired. Because I was missing that connection. I didn't have energy. And one day my dad came into my room and was like, come to dinner. We're having dinner. I was like, no, I'm really tired. And he was like, why haven't you been eating dinner with us? And I said, I'm just really tired. And he was like, are you taking drugs? And I was like, no, I'm not taking drugs. And he was like, show me your arm. So he pulled up my sleeve and he saw my cuts. And he was like, oh my God, like, he had no words, right? And the first thing I said to him was, please don't tell Mom.
Yes.
And still, it was about another person. It was never about me. It wasn't, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling this. And it was just like, just don't tell Mom, don't tell anyone about this. And I remember just like falling into my dad's arms and just being so vulnerable. And I felt like this spirit move through me. And I only just realized, like, recently, that my dad and my mum are my spirit angels, spirit guides. So they've been there to support me all along, but I wasn't able to recognize that throughout my years because I was so focused on so many external things and not on the on the people that were in front of me.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what I say, like, family is so important. If you were to ask anyone, people would say family, because family is blood and it's your connection. And they're always going to be there for you. But then, yes, I went through that. And after a while, I think that went on for a year, my friends started to kind of hang out with me again. I think they started to realize that what they were doing was not good. And so then we just became friends again. And they actually became my best friends throughout my life. Like, up until this moment. But yeah, that was what happened during my bullying years, and this is why I'm just so passionate about spreading awareness in terms of mindfulness, meditation, understanding your emotions, and being able to support people and just be a loving human being.
Yes.
And be a kind human being. It doesn't take any effort to be kind and loving and understanding. It's your natural state of being. But when you try to when you try to be anything else other than that, it takes up so much energy. And the thing is, like, I don't blame anyone. I don't ever blame anyone for treating me that way because You know, everything is a mirror. And perhaps I was experiencing that because it was a reflection of what I was, you know, experiencing within me. And I started to create that reality for myself.
Mm.
Yeah. So just learning to really just accept that and seeing it as a stepping stone into, like, you know, greater evolution, a greater version of yourself.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being so vulnerable and sharing that story, because I bet it wasn't easy. And I am sure that people who are listening and watching, some of them would have experiencing or are experiencing the same thing, because life is cruel sometimes and people can be cruel. And for those who are listening and watching, if you are experiencing bullying or suicidal thoughts, please, I hope that Nhi Nhi's experience has inspired you, because like she said, like she has those scars, but those scars are the reminders to tell her that she has been through things and she can do it, and that she's amazing, and so are you, for those who are listening and watching. And that
Yeah.
you are not alone,
Exactly.
honestly.
Yeah, you're never alone. You actually are never alone. And even if you feel like you're alone in this physical aspect, like there is no one physical present with you, and this is why I'd say meditation, because meditation allows you to experience different energies,
Mm,
you know, different realms, different dimensions.
mm,
And when you can really tap into that, you would understand, like, you know, you've always been supported all along. You've always been guided all along. And, you know, things never happen to you, they happen for you. And they're
agree.
happening for you for a reason. It's to serve you to be a greater version of yourself. You're just
Yes.
up leveling. You're just training for something. And you really
Yes.
just learn to, like, push through that and just trust that what would come out of this, whatever it is that you're going through, is serving a greater good.
There are
Yeah.
always lessons to learn. So you got through that. No, I would say, did you bring that traumatized experience with you through your uni times as well?
No, my uni times were actually the greatest times. Yeah, in my life, I was experiencing so much connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like the biggest social butterfly. I was like such a, yeah, like a party girl, you know, and every, like, so many people knew me, and I just had so many friendship groups and all these things. But I realized it came down to it was also a distraction. Those
Um,
relationships were really beautiful and it served me for the time being. Um, but as you grow, as you change, you'll start to realize that everything else in your life will start to change.
yes.
Things will slowly start to, you know, flow out of your life without you having to even try. So yeah, yeah. So just more things that are serving you in this moment can enter your life to uplevel you again. And that's what I mean about, you know, letting go of attachments.
Mm,
You know, letting go of the idea that, you know, certain friends or certain partners are meant to be in your life forever, because life itself is transient.
mm,
It's always changing, and we
mm.
have to go with that change if we really, really, really want to grow.
How can people learn how to let go though?
I would say to really surrender to the experience itself,
Mm,
and knowing that nothing, nothing can give you anything that you can't already give to yourself.
that sounds so
And when you
deep
can,
and profound.
so when you can understand that, you know, like being attached to maybe a partner that you know is not serving you, you know, why is it that you want to hold on to this relationship so much and, you know,
Yes.
make it work? like
Yeah.
making it work, right? It's because perhaps this person is filling up a certain aspect of you, and you again, if you become very clear and truthful with yourself and asking, what is this person or what is this thing giving me that I can't give myself, then that's when the dissolvement of attachments disappear.
Mm.
Yeah, it's understanding that you are already whole, you have everything that you already need. And that's where, yeah, the dissolvement, I said, of attachment can really just, yeah, flow.
So I feel
Yeah.
like though, if someone was in such a dark place at them right now, it might be kind of hard for them to see that.
Yeah.
What would be some tips or some things that you would like to say to them?
I'd like to say continue to cultivate love, like self-love.
Mm.
And self-love doesn't have to come in terms of, experiences like getting a massage, like what, people often so think of, like self-love, get a massage, get a facial. Like, yes, all these things are great, right? But I feel like the most prominent ways of expressing self-love that's really helped me, because I can only talk in terms of myself, is cultivating practices
Mm.
that can really help you,
Mm.
whether that is through painting, through drawing, through singing, through meditating, through writing. Like, these are always so accessible to you. You really just have to just let go of, like, honestly, like social media, like unfollowing. I'm not kidding you. I was following like 1,500 people on Instagram, like
Mm.
ever since I started using it. And I went on a cleaning spree.
Mm.
And I am only now following like under 300 people.
Mm.
And these are, people that I genuinely want to experience this platform with, because they're feeding my mind and my space with nourishing thoughts. It's, I follow like Buddhism quotes, I follow, think, grow, prosper. I think, I just, that's the energy that I want to bring in. So it's like asking yourself, like, where am I giving my energy to that is not serving me? Am I browsing, cosmetics, or, following like the Kardashians and things, like what, like how are these people really serving you? Is
Yes.
it wasting your time, or is it filling up your time with love?
Yeah.
So it's like being real with yourself. Like, honestly, it comes down to being real with yourself and seeing where you're stuck.
Yes.
Really do the things that nourishes your soul and your being. Go
Yeah.
back to your childhood. Like I always say to people, just go back to your childhood. What brought you joy back then?
Yes.
Was it outside running, in the fields, playing footy? Was it painting and drawing? Was it fishing? Like, what was it? And experience those memories again, and
Mm.
and feeling that fill you up. The
Yes.
childhood is the most pure memories. It is the most pure memories that we have.
Yeah, I agree. That's why we
Yes,
should stay curious and
yes,
childlike, really. And thank you so much for reminding people that, whatever they are consuming on the
mm-hmm.
internet is very important. Like, we're not here to tell people that, oh, just don't go on social media. We know that it is kind of hard, I guess. Like, this is the world that we're living now. But you do have the control of who you follow. So, like, you gotta be smart about it.
Yes.
You know what? While we're on that topic, what would be like top 3 accounts that you suggest people to follow?
Wow, that's a tough one. I can't remember by like the name of it,
Yeah.
but I love I love Buddhism. I think it's called Buddhism quotes.
Yep.
Because, you know, it's very important to follow, I guess, a certain, for me that is, it's important for me to experience my days through certain practices. And for me, like Buddhism and even Stoicism
Mm.
is something that I appreciate and adore. So when I see like a quote about peace or reflection or serenity pop up, I'm like, like I really needed that reminder, you
Mm.
know? So having that pop up all the time is really amazing. Another thing is, another Instagram I'd say is spiritual, I think it's called spiritual science. I
Okay.
love spirituality, and I love science, because science is ever evolving and spirituality is us. So
Yeah.
I love just spirituality information in quotes, because it teaches me a lot. It really,
Yeah.
really teaches me a lot. And the third one,
No, the third one is your account, Nhi Nhi Le.
yes, my account. I love my account because I just share aspects of my life. You know, my just poetry, meditation, or just nature. It's my energy and my vibe. But yeah, I love sharing, you know, parts of my soul. I don't really post much. I do. I try to make it as meaningful as possible, because that's the energy that I want to imprint um,
Yeah.
out into the world. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you
I
for
will
reminding me to include this stuff.
of course. I will leave those account details in the description for those who might be interested. Now that we are on the self-care what is it, routine, I would say, what would be your self-care habits to keep yourself on track?
My self care routine is as soon as I wake up,
Mm.
and I do this every day,
Mm.
without a doubt. I
Mm.
wake up and I do not look at my phone. I don't even have an alarm, because I've taught my body how to wake up with the sun, nature. So I wake up around like 5:30 a.m. every day. I don't touch my phone because I don't want, you know, the blue light to be in my eyes. It's very
Yeah.
important to not have that. And then I would go and oil pull. So
Oh.
oil pulling removes a lot of toxins out of your mouth. And that's where most of the diseases are created. So coconut oil pulling. And after that, I'll drink water
Mm.
and I would meditate.
Mm.
Sometimes I like to meditate in silence, out in nature, or I would listen to a guided meditation. But always the first thing is meditate. And then I would go off after that and do my workout. So I would move my body, move the energy, either through yoga, trampoline, like jumping on the trampoline to move my lymphatic system, or I'll do like a HIIT workout. And I've been loving home workouts, you know, just on YouTube. So accessible. You don't have to go to a gym.
Mm.
So I've really, really been able to build a relationship with working out at home.
Yes.
It's actually really fun. It's just perception, right? So yeah, that's my routine, and then I go off, you know, doing my day, and then at anytime I feel discomfort or dis-ease in my body, I'll take moments to really breathe, turn on a quick meditation, and my night routine is very similar. I would stretch and I would meditate,
Mm.
and I play frequency music
Mhm.
all night when I sleep. I leave my phone on, and it's playing like 432 hertz healing music. And it just is a whole playlist, and I can share that playlist actually.
Yeah.
And it heals me in my sleep. I see it just healing me in my sleep and taking me off into like a dream state. And yeah, so self love for me is really about meditation.
Yeah.
It's about movement, the movement of energy throughout your body. and also space to connect. Self-love is about connection, so connecting with your friends, seeing how they are, calling your family, connecting with nature. Nature
Yes.
is an important aspect of self-love,
Yes.
because in order to really love ourselves, we have to love nature. We really have to
Mm.
build that connection with nature, because nature is a reflection of us. Nature is what's keeping us alive and breathing. So experiencing ourselves through nature is an important self-love factor.
How long have you
Mm.
had that habits for? Because I think for people to wake up with the sun and go sort of wind down with the cycle, like it takes a lot of discipline. Be-
Takes a lot of
because yeah, like personally I'm the same as well, but I do see that, because TV there's temptation, and then obviously there's also food and snacking, and obviously social media, like all these temptations. Like, how did you train yourself to be so disciplined?
out of sight, out of mind. So
Mm.
in terms of snacks and stuff, keeping your pantry clean and clear, just having like veggies and fruit and water, like that is the majority of the stuff that we have in our space. Me and my beautiful, beautiful best friends, we went through a period where, we started munching on snacks again, but they were like, kind of healthy snacks and like corn chips sometimes, but I knew that wasn't serving my highest, self. Because
Mm.
every time I ate, I'm like, oh, I felt guilty. But sometimes I'll splurge. But it's knowing that if you don't have it within your vicinity, then you're not going to eat it. So that's the thing with food. So when you
Yeah.
buy stuff, like asking yourself, is this poisoning me or is this nourishing me? And
Yes.
when you ask that question, your body already knows
Mm.
the response.
Mm.
In terms of, the habits of waking up early, it's just getting yourself into the rhythm. So like if you do that for at least a month,
Mm.
your body already recognizes it. Planning to wake up at a certain time. So when I was going through a rough time in my life, I made it a habit to wake up at 5 a.m. every day, and I went to the gym.
Nice.
And then I would have a certain time I sleep every day. So around like 8 p.m., I will start to wind down. I would have my sleepy tea. I would try to not look at my phone. I
Mm.
would read a book
Mm.
or listen to meditation music, and then by the time it's like 9:30 or 10, I'm already tired and I'm drifting off to sleep. And so
Mm.
my body starts to build that habit. So it's about being consistent. Consistency is the key.
Yeah.
Like, yes, and like also the most important thing I find is like setting the intention. Like,
Yes.
why do you want this for yourself? Being clear with yourself. I want this because I know that it's going to allow me to feel good.
Mm.
It's a healthier lifestyle for me. And where do I want to see myself, in a year's time from now, or even a few months from now? Do I want to still be repeating the same habits that I know is not serving me? Because it only takes 21 days for your mind to build a new neurological path.
Mm.
So what's 21 days, right? Yeah.
And time
And if
still
that
goes so
can change,
quickly.
yeah, and if that can change you and that can support you for your future, imagine what you can create with that. I'm always thinking to myself, what can I create with these new habits that I'm forming? What kind of
Totally.
manifestations will appear in my life? What kind of magic will unfold? What kind of opportunities, and what kind of people will I meet by being a better version of myself? Because people are always going to be attracted to not by what you do. It's never about what you do. It's never about what business you own or how much money you're making. It comes down to who you are as a person. It actually
Beautiful.
really, that's your frequency, that's your vibration, and like
Mm.
your vibe. I love this quote. It's like your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So like if you are doing the work to like elevate your vibration and your frequency, then that's the energy that you're going to attract into your life without effort. You don't have to seek for these people. These people just come to you. Yeah.
Beautiful. And
Yeah.
well, I also kind of want to remind those who are listening and watching. Also, don't forget to self praise. Like if you have started something and maybe on day 10 or 12, and then you ate something that wasn't as nourishing, you should say thank you for the past 10 days of yourself for doing amazing work, because I feel like a lot of times people also beat themselves a bit too much for being like, oh, like I did this, that was bad, but you actually have done amazing. And we
Yeah.
all start small, and and also because you are doing amazing for starting. So
Yeah.
I just want to remind people.
It's so important to celebrate yourself. And I find what's been really helping me, I guess, throughout my journey is surrounding myself with loving and caring people on my vibration. So when I'm committing to like a fast, because I do a lot of, fast and detoxing, I tell my closest friends about it, like the people that I live with or whatever, and they keep me accountable. They're like, "Me, how are you feeling?" And then they were like, "I'm so proud of you." And I was like, "You know what? Yes, I'm proud of myself too." And like, if you don't have people that you live with, set a reminder every day. Set a reminder on your phone and be like, there's an alert that goes off. It's like, you are doing great, you know? And
Yes,
then, okay, amazing. There's so many different techniques and that you can do to really
exactly.
honor and praise yourself. And yeah, it's very important. Very, very.
Technology is amazing if you use it to your advantage. Like what Nini just said, like you need to set reminders on your phone and pop up and be like, girl or boy, you are doing a fabulous job. But I feel like, I don't know, because of your current state, you are a human after all, right? So
Yeah.
how do you help yourself to get out of the downtimes?
I see myself as this multi-dimensional soul living in a human body.
Mm,
So when I go through certain experiences that are painful, traumatizing, I give myself the space to just be. I acknowledge what I'm going through. Like, you know what? Actually, this is a really, really shitty experience that I'm going through, and it's very, very important to not have false positivity.
mm,
There's a lot of false positivity that can go around. It's like, you know what, I'm going through so much shit, but I'm going to be so positive about this. And like, you're just trying to bypass your experience. But being able to sit with yourself, and for me, like being able to sit with myself, like in my bathtub with like salts or laying outside on the grass and just allowing myself to experience everything,
mm.
every little thing that I need to experience, so that can just flow out of my body into the earth, back to nature, because we can never get rid of energy. We can only transform energy. So it's like learning and knowing how to transform that energy within your body is very important. So for me, again, it's being able to be with myself,
Mm.
being aware with what kind of emotions, what kind of feelings that I'm going through, and seeking it with curiosity.
Yeah.
Why am I feeling this way? Asking questions, self-inquiry.
Mm.
Am I experiencing this because of something that I haven't resolved from my
Mm.
past?
Mm.
Is this coming up again because I thought I'd healed this aspect, but I haven't yet? So now it's, transformed into this, but through another person or through another experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, being alone and connecting with yourself, I find has been the most important thing, because you can go to your friend and they could be like, it's okay, like, all these things, but like I said, that's also just, kind of babying you, and you normally tend to go towards the people that you know will give you that you are seeking for. And if you remember what I said, no one can give you that. Anything that you can't give yourself. So starting with being with yourself first, and once you've kind of acknowledged and recognized your experience, then you can kind of like go out and seek your friend and be like, oh my gosh, I just experienced this, but I just spent so much time with myself, and I can actually recognize where that's coming from now. So instead of going to your friend and asking them to fill up this story for you, because that's just going to be their interpretation of what you're experiencing. And when you're vulnerable, it's very easy for you to grasp onto other people's words, perceptions, and stories that they've kind of created for you. But no one can understand your journey more than yourself.
Agree.
Yes. So having the courage to sit with yourself and just cry it all out, laugh it, giggle, like shit, I'm going through this again. Like I find myself laughing a lot, like now when I'm going through like a heartache or whatever it is, because I was like, another experience, okay, I get it. Am I gonna learn this lesson? Yes.
Yeah.
But journaling
Yes.
journaling really helps. I've never really been a journaling person, but I remember for New Year's when I was in Thailand in the mountains, I said to myself, this year I'm going to journal every day. So I've made a commitment to journal every single day about my feelings, about my emotions, and it's been helping me so much. And I find myself writing way more than I thought I would, and it's become like a memoir, and it's something that I feel like maybe one day I want to publish and help other people.
Yes.
Or hand that to my children, and help them through their experiences and allow them to see what I've experienced. It's really beautiful. Yeah, so that's what I would say. And just seek support. Seeking support is very important. Seeking people, having people by your side that you know that you can kind of just share your heart with, and they can just hold space. And the thing about holding space is you don't need people to confirm what you're feeling. You just really need people to just really listen.
Yes.
And that's what I love about being a space holder, because I hold space for people through coaching, mentoring, and I just listen to them.
Yes.
Because through listening, you allow the other person to discover their truth and their lesson, their teaching. And that's why I find it's so important to not tell people what to do or to relate your experience with them, but just listening to them and acknowledging them and their experience.
Because everyone is on a different journey.
Exactly. And what you perceive and hear their experiences is through your lens, through your own experiences. We're always experiencing people through our own experiences. We experience ourselves through people.
What would be the top 3 questions that you would suggest people to ask themselves more when they are in that negative state?
How brave was Nhi Nhi sharing her bullying experience? I know everyone, yes, everyone has probably experienced some bullying experience in school and maybe even now at work. Some cases are more severe than others. So if you're someone who is now experiencing it, doesn't matter in school or at work, and you feel hopeless and helpless and loneliness, I truly hope that Nhi Nhi's story has inspired you and has shown you some light in your life, and to let you know that everything will definitely be alright at the end. You are definitely not alone on this journey. On whatever journey that you're going through, there are people who have gone through things too. So please don't be afraid to reach out. Oftentimes, the bullies are actually experiencing some stuff themselves too. And unfortunately, the society has yet to concretely teach us on how to deal with emotions. But that is okay. We got to take it one step at a time. Please know that you will survive this and know that everything is happening for you, not to you. Now continue watching part 2 because you will get to experience Nhi Nhi's meditation guidance. But if you're like, no, I want to experience it now, well, all Nhi Nhi's details are in the description. Now, I would really appreciate it if you can screenshot whatever episode that you're watching and tag me on social and also tag the interviewee. I would really appreciate the love. It's hard to know who is really watching out there, you know? Alright, don't forget to subscribe, click the thumbs up button if you have loved it, and share it with someone because you never know what they're going through or what they might need. And remember, you are amazing and you are not alone. And I will see you next time.